Hello. In this video, we are going to talk about rheumatoid arthritis. As we all know, rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease primarily affecting females. The male to female ratio is 1:4. That is, male is to female is 1:4. It affects primarily the small as well as large joint. However, the main characteristic of rheumatoid arthritis is symmetrical arthritis. Symmetrical means if a wrist is involved, then both wrists will be involved. If small joints of the hands are involved, all small joints of bilateral involvement of small joints of hand will be there. Okay. This is the most important feature of rheumatoid arthritis, that is symmetrical involvement of joint. Now coming to pathogenesis of rheumatoid arthritis. Pathogenesis of rheumatoid arthritis, like I said in my last video, as any autoimmune disease, the pathogenesis will write pathogenesis mainly with four points. First point being genetics. Genetics for rheumatoid arthritis is widely studied. As I said in my previous video also, PTPN22 gene is the most common mutated gene in autoimmune disorder, and it's also mutated in rheumatoid arthritis. Second important point in genetics is that rheumatoid arthritis is common in monozygotic twins. Third and most important point is HLA-DR. HLA-DR association is very strong for rheumatoid arthritis. Any person who has a mutation in HLA-DR beta 1, 401, 404, and 101 has 100 times higher risk of developing rheumatoid arthritis than a normal person. This is HLA-DR beta 1, 401, 404, 101. Then something called as shared epitope hypothesis. What this states is that on the antigen presenting cell, on the Fc portion of antigen presenting Fc receptor, there is mutation in HLA-DR, which codes for amino acid between 70 position to 74, which is designated as QKRAA. This mutation, what it does is that when it presents any antigen such as uh, fibrin or filaggrin, fibrin, filaggrin, it modifies in such a way that antigen presenting cell recognizes them as foreign, as a result of which autoimmunity is triggered. That is the shared epitope hypothesis, which states that the HLA-DR on Fc portion of antigen presenting cell between 70 to 74 position of amino acid is mutated. The new mutation is QKRAA. This, what it does is that it, whenever the antigen presenting cell takes up the normal molecules which are present in the joints, such as fibrin or filaggrin, these are recognized by antigen presenting cell as foreign because of this mutation which is present on the antigen presenting cell and not in this molecule. As a result, it triggers autoimmunity. Okay. This is the first mechanism, that is pathogen. The second main point is hormonal. Again, as I said, females it is more common than males. So estrogen promotes inflammation. Third point is immunological response. Immunological factors. Immunological factors, we'll discuss about this in the exact pathogenesis. The fourth point is environmental. Cigarette smoking increases the risk of rheumatoid arthritis. The second most important point is a bacteria, that is Porphyromonas gingivalis. What this bacteria does is that it causes chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation, the gingiva. What this does is that it causes the mucosal protein change. What changes that it has a enzyme called as PADI. PADI is peptide arginine deaminase. So what it does is that it converts the arginine into citrulline. Now arginine is a normal amino acid in our body, so it is not recognized by antigen presenting cell as foreign, but this citrulline is a foreign amino acid. It is due to deamination of arginine causing citrulline. This process is called as citrulinization. Whenever citrulinization is produced, it produces citrulinated protein. Citrulinated protein is the proteins which are citrulline amino acids. So citrulinated proteins are recognized as foreign proteins. Proteins are foreign proteins. Okay. So once the antigen presenting cell recognizes this as foreign protein, it produces antibodies. These are presented to T cells, which stimulate B cells, produces antibodies. So the antibody which are produced against citrullinated protein are called as anti-citrullinated protein antibody, that is ACPA, which is the most specific antibody in rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, ACP. Now, how this entire process happens? Let us consider one joint here. Okay, this is a joint. The blue color is the cartilage on the joint. So this is the joint capsule. This is the synovium, cartilage. Okay, now in any joint, the main important feature is inflammation of the synovium. So main important feature is of rheumatoid arthritis is inflammation of synovium. The second main important feature of rheumatoid arthritis is there is angiogenesis. That is, blood vessels grow into the joint, which are not normally avascular. The third important feature is there is destruction of the cartilage as well as bone. Destruction of the bone, inflammation of the synovium, angiogenesis in the synovium. How this exactly happens? What we'll do now, we'll take a enlarged view of this. The joint capsule, the joint, the cartilage, the synovium, this is the synovial fluid. what happens in the joint is that there is infiltration of the joint by macrophages as well as CD4 cells. What they do is that put together they secrete various cytokines. The main important cytokines are interleukin 1, interleukin 6, and TNF alpha. What these interleukins do is that the first thing they do is that they act on the synovial membrane. Synovial membrane consists of synoviocytes. So how these synoviocytes are there? These synoviocytes like a fibroblast. They're similar to fibroblast. These are also called as fibroblast like synoviocytes. So once this interleukin 1, interleukin 6 and TNF alpha acts on synovial membrane, this synoviocyte start proliferating, and when they proliferate they form a villus-like projection into the joint, which is called as pannus. And this pannus is pathognomonic feature of rheumatoid arthritis on histopathology, that is proliferation of the fibroblast-like synoviocyte in the form of a villus into the joint capsule is pannus. Okay. The next thing what this um, synoviocyte do is that they start expressing RANKL. RANKL, what it does is that it activates osteoclast. This results in osteopenia around the joint, that is called as periarticular osteopenia, which can be seen on X-ray. Okay. The next thing is that this directly cause damage to the cartilage, with cartilage destruction. Along with that, there is increased expression of proteases, which also again in turn cause cartilage destruction, and cartilage which is destroyed also releases more proteases. So this is a vicious cycle which is going inside the joint. The next thing what the CD4 cells does is that CD4 cells also express VEGFs. VEGF expression of VEGFs results in new new blood vessel formation. Expression of VEGFs results in new blood vessel formation inside the joint, which in turn results in increased capillary permeability and exudation into the joint, resulting in joint inflammation. Okay, this one more cell which is involved in this is the plasma cell. Plasma cells only constitute 5% in the joint. 50% is by CD4 cells, 45% by macrophages, and 5% by plasma cells. Plasma cells release antibodies. These antibodies form immune complexes in the joint. These immune complexes are found in the joint, which is characteristic features of rheumatoid arthritis in the joint. So, what are the characteristic features of rheumatoid arthritis which we learned in this diagram? The most important is the pannus. Okay, after that, periarticular osteopenia. And third is antibodies or the immune complexes in the joint. So, how this everything happens in the joint? Why there is infiltration of the macrophages or CD4 cells? Now, one more important point which I did not mention is that these synoviocytes, once they are inflamed, they migrate to the other joint. The joint, meaning if wrist joint is involved, then the synoviocyte of the one wrist joint migrate to the other wrist joint, resulting in symmetrical arthritis. one joint. Suppose the wrist joint is inflamed. The synovial sides from the right wrist joint go and inflame the left wrist joint synovitis, cause left wrist joint synovitis. As a result, there is symmetrical involvement of joints. It is not because of CD4 cell infiltration is symmetrical. It is because the synovial side, that is similar joints are affected and similar synovial synoviocytes migrate. That is, wrist joint wala will migrate to wrist joint only and not to any other joint. So this results in symmetrical uh, arthritis. Okay. Now, before everything happens, at least 10 years prior to this, that is pre-RA stage, was because of various factors like infection by the Porphyromonas gingivalis or genetic predisposition or smoking. This will result in citronization. Okay. This itself can cause citronization or in the joint. Okay. In the joint, such as joint inflammation, like joint septic arthritis or trauma to the joint, cartilage damage, can also cause citronization of protein. The proteins which are citronized are fibrin and filaggrin. These are the two main proteins which are citronized. Here, citronization is conversion of arginine. Arginine is converted to citrulline. So, what happens is that antibodies are generated against this protein, that is ACP antibody, anti-citrullinated protein antibody, which goes and attacks this protein, that is fibrin and filaggrin. As a result, there is inflammation of the joint. Now, once this citrullinaization happens, the citrullinated proteins are recognized by antigen presenting cell. Antigen presenting cell take up this protein and go to the lymph node. In the lymph node, they present it to CD4 plus cells. What these CD4 cells do? They do two mechanisms. One is Th2 cells, which is through interleukin 4. They go migrate to the joints and cause inflammation. Okay. Now, CD4 cells also through interleukin 6, interleukin 1 activate B cells. B cells forms plasma cells which produce antibodies. Now there are two types of antibodies which are produced by T cells. Antibodies of RNA. The first important antibody which is produced is rheumatoid factor. Rheumatoid factor is an IgM antibody produced against Fc portion of IgG. These 2 points are important. It is IgM antibody produced against Fc portion. It is present in 75% of RA patients. Okay. So what this rheumatoid factor does is that it goes and binds to IgG. This is the one mechanism. Second thing is it can directly attach to the fibrin or filaggrin and activate complement. Activate complement, which causes membrane activation of membrane attack complex and inflammation. Second antibody which is there is ACP. ACP is anti-citrullinated protein antibody. It is also called as ACCP. ACCP is anti-cyclic citrullinated polypeptide antibody. They're both the same. This is IgG type of antibody directed against citrullinated proteins. This is the most specific antibody. The presence of this antibody virtually confirms the diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. However, presence of rheumatoid factor does not confirm the diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. However, presence of ACPA antibody is more specific. It is more than 95% of the cases are associated with ACPA antibody. There is one more antibody which is documented is CAR-P antibody, that is anti-carbamylated protein antibody. However, this is present only in Indian population and it is specific in about 75% of the cases. Now, these are the antibodies present in the, apart from involvement of joint, rheumatoid arthritis can also cause extra articular manifestation. All extra articular manifestations are because of presence of fibrin and filaggrin in other organs. Now, in skin, it can cause nodules and pyoderma gangrenosum. In the eyes, it can cause scleritis, and anterior uveitis. So, all are because of presence of fibrin and filaggrin. Then in the lungs, it can cause nodules. It can cause ILD, that is non-specific interstitial pneumonia. However, rheumatoid arthritis per se causing ILD is less. However, treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, that is methotrexate causing non-specific interstitial pneumonia, is more common. The next system which is involved is it can also cause pleurisy in lung and pleural effusion. In the cardiovascular, because of interleukin 1, interleukin 6, TNF alpha, there is increased atherosclerosis, resulting in increased risk of MI and stroke. In CNS, it causes entrapment neuropathy and mononeuritis multiplex. Then the bone marrow causes increased platelet count and anemia. The liver causes increased CRP, increased ESR, increased increased hepcidin result in decreased iron absorption resulting in anemia of chronic disease. So these are the extraintestinal manifestations. These are basically because of presence of fibrin and filaggrin in other organs where the antibodies are directed. So in the skin, it causes nodules, pyoderma gangrenosum. In the eye, scleritis, episcleritis, anterior uveitis. In the lung, most common is pleurisy followed by lung nodules. ILD is very less common. Pleural effusion is another feature. Cardiovascular manifestations are due to cytokines, which causes increased atherosclerosis, increased risk of MI and stroke. In CNS, entrapment neuropathy, mononeuritis multiplex. In the bone marrow, increased platelet count and anemia. In the liver, increased CRP, increased hepcidin, which causes anemia, or decreased iron absorption, resulting in anemia of chronic disease. So this is basically the pathogenesis as well as extraintestinal manifestation of extra articular manifestation of rheumatoid